Hey, it's your girl KV back with another review for Married to Medicine. This is season 12, episode 15, reunion part 1, uncensored, late, about to be ready for the next one. But we're here. We're here, y'all. Bare nails. House, as my daughter says, smells yucky. Painting, renovations, all of the things. This mirror back here. Let's turn that away. That's awkward. All right, let's just get right to it. I'm gonna start by saying Mimi is vindicated. Mimi is partially vindicated in this episode, and we're gonna get there. We'll get there. Simone and Jackie, they didn't share a dressing room together, okay? Andy is back there talking to them. Simone looking all crazy with them rollers in her head, her eyes all bulging and stuff. And Andy is trying to get Jackie to see that she didn't fully defend Simone in a way that he even felt, was substantial. Regardless of how Simone feels, he like, no, but you should have said this. You don't think you should have said this? Andy, he is clear where he stands, okay? Uh-oh, that ain't the button. He is clear where he stands when it comes to Simone and Jackie is round in his eyes, okay? She don't really see it as that way, but 'tis what it is, y'all. The interesting thing about this intro, this thing, Simone is using, she's let me take a sip. I don't know if y'all can see how this is a lot going on back here. Matcha latte. She likens this to her and Cecil's divorce. The words, the phrasing that she used when she speaks of her in Heavenly, it's giving lovers quarrel. I can't be the only one that feels this way. We will never get back together. Don't you mean you'll never be friends again? Like, the language. Is it just me? This is a lover's quarrel. You know how they said how on Potomac, how they admitted to, what we gonna call it? You know how they say men be in a circle jerk when they're just sitting there in a circle jerk. Girls, they be, we gonna round table rubbing. You know how they was like, was it Candace, Ashley, Mia, and Wendy? I think it was on Potomac. They got drunk on one of the trips and started showing each other, let me see yours. Little round table rubbing. I could absolutely see the Golden Girls participating in some round table rubbing. And the fact that they're all doctors and dental doctor, they could be like, in the name of research. And they could really be just, maybe it's just me. But this is a lover's quarrel. And I feel like we should mind our business and let these lovers figure it out on their own. Andy starts the reunion off asking Toya if she's still in her same house, y'all. I was cracking up. She was like, yeah, I'm still in my same house. He's like, well, you know you like to move, Toya. You know you like to move. And I've owned all my homes. Yeah, we know, Toya. She hasn't. She just came from a rental. They talk about her skip work day party, right? Toya says that day she was spiraling. It was bad. She was yelling at Eugene and she locked herself in her closet and Quad came, checked on her, and she knows that she reacted poorly. Mimi was like, well, I didn't do anything. I didn't say. And it was like, you said it was cringy. And I'm like, now, come on now, Mimi. Stand in it now. Stand in it. Heavenly and the little pee-pee jokes, okay? Toya like, you must want to stick my husband because you always talking about it. I don't see no bulge in your man pants. Heavenly was like, my man from Barbados. Even Simone had to laugh at that because Heavenly is such a fool. Toya pulls out a lab coat of text messages from the day of the day before, the week before, whatever it was, when they had them 100 text messages about the Met Gala, she prints that out inside of a lab coat and brings it there. Contessa's like, make sure you got both sides of the text, okay? Don't just have your text. Put all the text messages in there. Andy's like, oh, okay. Toya, this is creative. I said, not that you sound like you're talking to your kids. This is creative. Because I guess, girl, it must not hit because we didn't focus on that one text message from that lab coat. Not one text message was highlighted. So they just, showed that she was creative and she did it, I suppose. Listen, the bottom line of the Met Gala is Jackie set Toya up. Jackie set Toya up. She was gonna act like she wasn't, like she had no idea. We just, I'm helping Toya. Now you helped Toya the whole time, but when it was going on, you was just as confused as the other ladies. Which is it, Jackie? Which is it, right? So that's correct. That cracked me up because, child, they don't listen at all. Because Heavenly blew up her spot. And this is, people always be like, what Heavenly got on Jackie? What Heavenly got on Jackie? What Heavenly got on Jackie? And I'm like, why gotta be Heavenly got something on Jackie? Why can't Jackie also have these thoughts of her own? Because we see that Jackie is just as messy, if not messier, than Heavenly. She just lets Heavenly carry out the missions that, she kind of figures out and probably schemes up a little bit. And that's why Heavenly always start with, that's why Jackie said you wanted to see you. Jackie said, because Jackie sent her out. I don't understand why people don't understand this. Heavenly is not some loose dog. She is well controlled by Jackie. I don't understand why we don't see that. But all right. Heavenly blew up Jackie's spot about Toya, about Jackie setting Toya up to be in charge to teach her a lesson. Not to necessarily see her fail, but to teach her a lesson to see how difficult it is and how serious it is about planning and how you need to give your money when they ask you for your money. Okay. They asked Quad what led to the breakup. She's been, nonchalant as what you could expect. He was a boyfriend of 2-3 years. We ain't got to go all deep on this. You win some, you lose some, okay? It was mutual. And Contessa's like, you didn't want him to come? And she's like, I didn't say that. Who said that? Who said that? Contessa said, he said that. Quad said, you guys have been talking to my ex. Toya's like, listen, him and Eugene are friends, and he really looked out for Ashton for his birthday. And we saw that online where for Ashton's 16th birthday, they set up a driving experience where he got to drive like one of the cool cars that King has in his luxury rental car. Luxury cab, call the cab service, word to Babs, okay? That's what it's giving. He, gave him a cool little driving experience. Quad gets real puffed up in her chest. She gets real monologue-ish. In what world in 2026 would was woman, a single me? Miss Quad, she got it, but Miss Quad won't waste it on fake IVF, okay? A storyline. And as dramatic as she is, I agree. I don't agree with the people that feel like Quad only carried through with IVF for a storyline. I'm like, no, if she wanted to carry through with a storyline, she could have just cried about not having a baby all season. That would have worked. She's dramatic. That absolutely would have worked. She wouldn't have had to go through it. And then to go to Ghana of all places. She could have just did some stuff stateside with Jackie, but she was intentionally truly trying to have a baby and fill a void. And while she had some good black sperm sitting next to her, why not use it? Because Simone ends up asking her, if y'all couldn't decide on getting married or living together or nothing, why would y'all proceed with IVF? Quad said, because he's a good co-parent. Even with his daughter now, he's a good co-parent. I take that. Some people feel like that's a bird logic, that's bird way of thinking. But you have to think like that as a woman. A man can get up and leave you at any day. Y'all ain't gotta be together. How is he gonna be when you break up? You feel like he gonna be a decent human being? Do he take care of the kids that he got now? If he don't, that's absolutely somebody you don't need to be procreating with. He do. He making sure that their child's a priority. Well, yeah, sure. This the daddy I give to my children, even if he ain't in the house with them. Why not? Why not? Okay. And people, in case y'all haven't seen it from other couples that have been through IVF, like same-sex couples or things like that, black male sperm is very hard to come by. I think the Brad has her and Judy, they got their donor is white. It's white sperm. I feel like, and Shonda Rhimes' kids white. Like black sperm, it ain't just in the sperm banks for the taking and being a good viable option where we know the pedigree and stuff. If we're gonna be choosing and purchasing sperm, we need to know the pedigree and know that it's good. That ain't in the sperm banks. So I don't blame Quad for being like, shit. Somebody to go half on the baby with me, and I ain't gotta pay for this. Shoot, let's run this. Let's run it. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I'm here for a purpose, okay? Get married, move into my house. Quad has already been a single parent. I don't understand why y'all keep forgetting this. Quad had essentially had custody of her nephew for a while and had custody or had guardianship of that niece that I feel like sparked all of this. She had them as a single mom by herself, really. Okay, so everybody acting like she's being so preposterous, thinking that she could be a single mom. She has been. She could do it. And she already told y'all she got her house so that her mama can be on one wing, and if the auntie need to come, her auntie coming too. Because when she had the bullshit apartment, as Toya said, it had 3 levels and she had room for the mama and the auntie or whatever. So we know that that's a given. So I feel like people do a lot with that, when I feel like that storyline is what it is. It don't need extra sauce on it. It is what it is. They get a listener question. Somebody asked Angel, how does a nurse get in a movie? Is it a real movie? She was like, listen, been that girl, still that girl, always gonna be that girl, okay? She's been in Kendrick Lamar videos. She's been in Robin Thicke videos. She's been in Justin Timberlake videos, okay? But she, when I got that education, and I knew that once I got these degrees, I was still gonna be that bad girl and they was still gonna want me, and here we are. I said, period. Clock it. Clark it, okay? Period. So they asked Heavenly, what did you mean? Were you trying to say that Angel is up to some type of, shenanigans, nefarious acts? And they go back to when Angel was twerking on the boat. And the Golden Girls was trying not to stare and drool, okay? The Golden Girls was about to spontaneously combust. All that booty was driving them crazy. Heavenly was just staring at it, but she tried to act like she was staring at it like, it wasn't what it was. But you feel me? They was amazed. Heavenly just said, she has a beautiful body and she could have used it in a lot of ways. I said, period. Period. Now we got Contessa versus Brandy. Contessa, why were you crashing out about these birthdays? Contessa is truly gaslighting not only Brandy, but all of us in this moment. I feel like this is Contessa's type of defense mechanism. This is like one of those things that she truly dissociates from. Maybe this is some PTSD, military trauma. Maybe it's just some bull crap that she's learned how to cope with her husband. But it's something, and she really be all in believing what she's saying. And it's crazy because it's like, baby, we can roll that beautiful beam footage right there. Right there. Brandy's on her arse though. Brandy ain't letting up. Brandy's like, you was saying all that stuff under your breath. But we had a couple words once I seen this season back and saw all the stuff you was talking. Okay. This is just Heavenly and Contessa all over again. Contessa vents about her husband, and then when somebody brings it up in the slightest, now she's down their throat about, oh, I never said that. And I never, you did actually. I never complained. Not one time. You did. Multiple times actually. If we, the audience, saw it 3 times, I can only imagine how many times you actually vented to the people that's really in your life. Like, what? And she's really like, I never complain. A lot, babe. A lot. And she's like, I don't understand. I don't even understand why we're talking about birthdays. Why are we arguing about birthdays? Because you're arguing about birthdays, Contessa. I'm just wondering why we had to call and thank your husband for some chicken wings. Here you are taking shots about birthdays, but asking why we arguing and talking about birthdays. You just gonna show up with a birthday gift to my birthday party on my birthday party with my birthday dinner on my birthday gift? Happy birthday? Bow. Okay? Bow. And then Brandy tells us that the day that she had her birthday dinner was Contessa's actual birthday. It was Contessa's actual birthday. She said that's why she was so invested. I said, oh, I can believe it. Where they get to now? And then Contessa gets to, wasn't really apologizing, but acknowledging her. Oh, you know, your birthday is special and precious because that's when God decided that he couldn't do without you, you beautiful black queen. And I was still, word to Johnny Blaze, okay? Speaking of, you know, oral, we're going to get to Angel and that oral throat spray. Andy asked her what she was going to do with it. Was it about she was gonna deep throat? Quan asked Toya, why did she ask Bernard how Angel is in bed? Oh, it was giving a little cat watching. Was your cat watching, Toya? Seemed like you was cat watching. I was cracking up. Angel starts giggling. Toya want a little taste. Toya, you want a little taste, Toya? You want a little taste, Toya? I said, do you want to give a little taste? You giggling mighty hard, girl. Is you trying to get... Toy said, no, that's another lie that Heavenly put out there, that I eat coochie. Heavenly said, you the one said you been with women. You know, I ain't saying that. You said you been with women. I can't think of nothing else you would do with them. Heavenly be funny to me. I don't care what y'all say. That shit had me weak. Because Heavenly was like, this was what, Heavenly will make some stuff up. Don't get me wrong. Heavenly will make some stuff up. But this was one of those moments where she was genuinely like, girl, that's what you said. You said you've been with women. What else do you do with them but eat the box? I don't understand. So you must eat box if you... That was genuine confusion. Between that and when her and Simone was arguing. And Simone was like, when I was in the hospital. And Emily said, do you act like that in the hospital? Well, what would y'all do without Heavenly? Heavenly said, I eat coochie. They talk about Mimi treating her friends like patients, and I ain't gonna lie, I loved every minute of it. It was funny to me because it gave a different dynamic to the show. Mimi is not one to yell. She ain't really cursing. Like, that's not her default when she gets into an argument. So I like that she's messy, but in a different way. It adds layers, okay? It gives the show a little more depth, okay? She is what Jackie thinks she portrays, okay? She really is, because Mimi gives us entertaining, that's nasty, so whereas Jackie is just brash and rude, okay? So people feel like Mimi don't hold Heavenly accountable. And I am confusion because are we watching the same show? Every time we turn around, Mimi is touching Heavenly. Calm down. I got it. Letting me talk. All right now, Heavenly. Now that one we can't defend. Heavenly, you need to. Every time you turn around, you see Mimi head. Heavenly. Heavenly. What do y'all think that is? Is that not her checking her? Like, let's have a serious conversation. Is that, did I turn that light on? Wow, I don't see that light at all. It's getting real dark in here. I guess the video over now, child. It don't really matter, but I have to figure something out. So some uplighting, some more uplighting. But people are saying that Mimi doesn't check Heavenly. That's all I've seen in this season. Is Mimi checking Heavenly. Now, she absolutely handles Heavenly with kid gloves. She does not yell. She does not, put her foot down and do all of this to get Heavenly to comply. She definitely gently parents Heavenly, but she does check her. Like, we see her physically Heavenly every 5 minutes of this reunion. And she would even say, oh yeah, this on Heavenly I can't defend. But there are some stuff that we can defend Heavenly on, as Mimi did, but some stuff absolutely not. And Mimi would say that. And she would tell her that too. And we saw Jackie as well. Jackie was in Heavenly face screaming at her, telling her she need to go in there and apologize. Apology implies somebody had wrongdoings, right? So that's Jackie checking Heavenly. It's like, y'all only think that somebody can yell and fuss and cuss to check somebody on these shows. And I'm just like, it doesn't have to be that way. Have y'all seen where parents, you can discipline your children differently? Some children maybe only reply to spankings. The next child might not give a damn about no spanking. You take the electronics and they comply. You parent people different. You friend people different. But we absolutely have seen Mimi and Jackie checking Heavenly. It's just a little gentler than I guess people check Toya or people check Simone. But we see it. Mimi physically. Heavenly, be quiet. Heavenly, stop. Heavenly, nah. What is that? Is that not checking her? I really want to know what y'all call it or what y'all think it is if y'all don't think that's checking her. Because even when, we'll get there. Mimi and the mothering of her neurodivergent child. She said it's hard, but she keeps on pushing. She is who she is. She's trying to soften her personality. I'm like, girl, you're judgmental AF. Stand in it. Just stand in it. Quad said, listen, you out here trying to therapize us. We your friends. We ain't asked for that. We didn't come into your study. We didn't come into your clinic for services. Mimi basically said, well, the way y'all be fighting and acting, y'all need therapy. So, what are me to do? What are me to do when this is my work? This is my life and y'all are in need. How can I not? And I'm like, period. I love it. Give me 2 more seasons of it. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. Toya and Mimi. Toya feels like her and Mimi butted heads for no reason. That's what she said when Andy was saying it. She screamed it out. For no reason. Heavenly said, Toya never owns anything. I'm saying nothing. Mimi is like, excuse me. Oh, and when Heavenly says, Toya don't own nothing, Mimi literally said, let me talk. Okay? Hey, nobody asked you anything. Let me talk. Checking her in real time on the reunion stage. And Heavenly was like, oh, my bad. Okay, you right. I don't be understanding what y'all want from these people. Because Mimi checked Heavenly all season long. Jackie is literally yelling at that lady that she need to go in there and apologize because she feels like she was wrong. What do y'all call it? So after Mimi checks heavily and tells her to be quiet, because the question was for Mimi, Mimi brings up Toya's house party and how things went. She says she didn't mean to be disrespectful to Toya's marriage. But Toya asked them. Toya was like, I didn't ask you anything. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Mimi said, run the tape. And baby, Mimi is vindicated. This was one of my favorite moments of the season. So to have more layers to it has made it even more so. My favorite, lean into your femininity. We roll the tape back and we see Toya literally says, which it may have been facetiously, it may have been a rhetorical question, but she absolutely said, well, how else are you supposed to talk to them when you want them to get up and do something? Lean into your femininity. It was a genuine response. She's messy, but that was a genuine response in that moment, and it makes it even freaking funnier to me. I don't care what y'all say. Lean into your femininity is vindicated, because a lot of people were offended by that. Baby, they were offended by it. They trying to talk it out. And like I said, we see the playback. Toya starts over talking. Andy has to be like, Toya, let her finish. Maybe it's just like, listen, we never really got off on a good foot. I still don't really know her, but that's not saying that I don't want to get to know her. Toya brings up how Mimi came for Brandy, and that was one of the moments I didn't care for Mimi. When it was funny. Like, it was funny to watch on some messy stuff, but like the shakedown of it, of you trying to go over there and be like, girl, you hanging with the wrong team. You don't need to be over there with them because, girl, if you get out my face. And Brandy responded accordingly. But Mimi said, listen, Toya, you bringing it up, I'm going to address Brandy directly. We already talked about it. It's already been squashed. We're good. Brandy said, yep, we sure did, and I appreciated it. Because it's not what you were saying, it was delivery. So I apologize for my delivery. And honestly, I feel like Toya and Mimi, they could enjoy each other. I feel like once they both can let their guards down around each other, they could enjoy each other. Okay, Toya's like, basically you doing the damn thing. You like a great mom and your kids, doing great and this, that, and the third, even with these challenges. And you're a doctor while you're doing it, you're killing it. And y'all know Mimi loves her words of affirmation. So I'm like, maybe this could be a new leaf, because I can see them on the same side, being on the phone, talking trash about somebody, and it being hilarious. They get ready to break. And Jackie tells Andy, you're asking all the right questions. Andy looks at her. Oh my gosh, you think so? Wow, thank you, Jackie, because they've been on my ass, Jackie. They're saying that, I'm storming off from reunion, Salt Lake City, I'm saying let's move on to the next thing, Atlanta. And it's not my fault. It's just, the girls just yell. And it's not even clever arguments, Jackie. I mean, what's in me to do? And she pat his back, and it was just a lovely moment. And I was like, all right, Andy, I guess you're not all the way terrible, because this one is flowing. The flow of this reunion is a lot better than Atlanta. I mean, Potomac. We see the guys coming into the venue backstage, and Steve and Eugene get to arguing. Steve is on go. Okay, I said, dang, Steve. I guess because the interview with Toya and Eugene on Carlos King, he probably saw that and probably just fresh off of Toya laughing at him, saying, yeah, the boys like him. The boys like him. So Steve is on go, and he wants for Eugene to take some type of accountability. Eugene feel like, why would he tell him to buy a ticket if Steve said that he was out? Why would he be coming? And I'm like, Steve said that he was out of the planning thing and offering up money. He never said that he wasn't coming to the event. It's a cast event and they're cast. Let's not be dense. Let's not be dumb. You gonna tell him, I can't imagine why you would justify bad behavior. Steve gets upset. Said, you justify bad behavior with your wife every day. I said, oh, now we're talking about spouses. No, Steve. Eugene said, don't talk about my effing wife. Don't talk about, stop pointing at me. Stop pointing at me. Steve said, and what are you gonna do? Steve got closer like Stacy. And what are you gonna do? You wanna be one of the women? Because that's what you acting like, bro. I was like, whoa, Steve. Brave. Steve felt ambushed. Curtis goes to Steve, that guy ain't gonna admit to nothing. Curtis, you are the absolute wrong messenger, babes. You don't say a word. I know what I need to do. You don't say a word, dear Curtis. We don't need none of your input. So that, all right. Next we see part-time Heavenly's package, okay? Cracks me up that Heavenly missed like 2 or 3 months of filming, yet she was in every episode. Yet y'all want her off the show. Baby, put her off the show and you're signing your death certificate. And nobody's going to bring the Heavenly dynamic to this group. And love it or hate it, Heavenly is very polarizing and she gets the people going. It's provocative. Nobody knows what it means, but it gets the people going. Okay, whether you love her or you hate her, you're going to be talking and tweeting about Heavenly and her antics. And they need that for this show. They do. They do. So he do some rapid fire questions. Do y'all think Heavenly can pass a background check? Toya gonna say she's not a felon. Quite like, girl, just say yay. And she finally says yay. They said, would you trust Heavenly with the nuclear codes? Everybody says no. And he said, okay, well, Congress doesn't have them anyway. Heavenly gonna say, Toya didn't know that. Heavenly, why do y'all think Heavenly know how to dress? No. Heavenly said, listen, Jackie's taking me shopping, but that's too expensive. Okay. Next, do you think her campaign is going to be better than her beauty supply store? Everybody's like, yeah. And she was like, I didn't want that beauty supply store, no way. And I'm like, y'all must be forgetting. That was Alora's beauty supply store. Heavenly passed down such a precious piece of generational wealth, and that she gave her daughter hands-on experience of, oh, you want your own business? Here's a beauty supply store. You manage it. You get the books. You hire your employees. You work the store. And you tell me about owning a business and how to make money. Run it. Like, this lady was able to buy a business for her daughter to play and learn with. That is why I love Heavenly. That is why I love Heavenly, and she is a key proponent on the show. Say whatever you want about Heavenly, but she's not sitting at the table screaming at her kids about them not being responsible. Her kids went to college. Her kids, they still might be spoiled. I'm not saying that they not as spoiled as Michael and Miles. They're probably just as spoiled, but they ain't crazy enough to be cussing and talking to their mama crazy in the process of being all types of spoiled. They got a little bit of responsibility and sense about themselves. So, and Heavenly did some parenting right. You getting some hands-on experience, because I feel like Simone and Cecil coddled them boys. They coddled them boys way too much just because they stayed at home for however long they stayed. Well, Michael got on down. I think it was Miles that came home and Cecil was doing that boy laundry while he was in college and stuff. I was like, Mom stopped doing my laundry when I was like middle school. Like, that mother would bring his grown son, girl. Nuclear codes, beauty supply store. Does Heavenly tell the truth about her life? Everybody say no. Heavenly opens up and says that her son had a mental health emergency. This was later on, but she says this is his story to tell and not mine. I don't put my family on blast. Simone was ready to pop, boy. She was ready to just croak at this moment. Heavenly says that she didn't know what to do when she found out her son had that mental health emergency. She called her dear friend Mimi for assistance, and apparently, I guess the son was in lockup, and when they were looking for him, nobody could find him, but somebody ended up calling Damon and being like, hey, I think we got your son down here in lockup. And that's what it is, because he big homie, he the plug, and as they just had to let him know. I said, all right. Simone chimed in and said, well, I don't decide to put my family on blast. It just happens spontaneously. Okay? Heavenly gonna say, you know what? I do have a problem. My husband is too good to me. He's too good for me. Simone was like, at least I got married for love and not because I was pregnant. I said, and even still, Simone, they might be getting along a little bit there. Nah, just kidding. I don't know. Heavenly and Damon look like they are dysfunctional in that house. To where Simone and Cecil look like they do have fun together. They just don't seem compatible. Seem like they besties, but they not compatible no more, if you catch my grip. Now we get Simone versus Heavenly, and by way through Jackie, I guess. She snapped. She was unhinged. The fact that people are trying to make it to where Heavenly was so wrong about what she said is crazy to me. Simone did snap. Simone was unhinged. Simone didn't push Heavenly, but Simone removed Heavenly's arm in an aggressive manner. Like, Heavenly could have gotten some bruises on her arm from, like, the way she grabbed, and you could see the pressure put into. It was aggressive, and people are like, well, how else do you remove? You can move yourself. You don't even got to touch that person. Not saying that that's what she should have done. She was in the right to do whatever she needed to do to feel like she needed to get Heavenly up off of her. But we're not going to act like she gently removed Heavenly's arm. It was not gentle. It was indeed aggressive. It was. It was. It wasn't a push, but it was an aggressive removal of said arm. Okay. We see, like I said, we saw Jackie trying to force Heavenly to apologize. That means that she felt like the girl was wrong. Hello. Simone feels unsupported, and I'm not really blaming her, because I would be a little annoyed too if you can't say, oh, she didn't push her. She didn't push her. You ain't have to add no more. You ain't have to say no more, no less. But I would have. It was odd to me that Jackie wouldn't say on camera that no, Heavenly, Simone did not push you. Like, that was odd to me. But to me, I think that it's just Jackie being petty, and Jackie is holding a grudge against Simone, and she's not gonna give her that satisfaction because Buffy. It all boils back to Buffy. That was really one of the big divisive thing of their relationship, because you can relate. You're infertile, and Jackie was wrong, and Simone told her she was wrong, and Jackie can't believe Simone told her she was wrong. So she'll never tell you that you're right because you told her she was wrong. I feel like that's what it all boils down to. And it's why they're even fighting in the first place. Because after that, Simone got real petty. And remember, she didn't invite Jackie to Michael's graduation party when Michael was delivered by Jackie and you didn't invite. He was like, that's kind of like my auntie. So it was weird her not being there. It was very petty. And it was the nail in the coffin for me of like, oh, that's what you think of our friendship now. The baby that I delivered, I'm not invited to his graduation party. That. So the fact that Jackie even pretends like she still wants this relationship with Simone is just like, here you go with your goody two shoes aside. I don't don't hear that hair dryer. They should have been hair drying by now, y'all. I gotta braid and beat that little hair up, y'all. Jackie feels like she didn't do nothing wrong. She said, I feel like I pumped the fist. Andy said, yeah, that's the problem. Exactly, that's the problem. She says, no, she wasn't a physical threat. It wasn't a push, but like I said, it wasn't gentle. Heavenly, I feel like for Simone, well, she said it. Heavenly is the problem with Simone. And I feel like it's a plethora of reasons. For one, she feels like Heavenly has disrespected her on numerous occasions when, just like Contessa, you vent to her and she says it out loud as if it's not on camera and we're not going to find out anyway. So for her to be so mad about stuff like that, it's like, I guess. But also, remember season one, season two, because Heavenly was on season one in the background. You could tell they kind of set up and laughed at Heavenly. So Simone's probably feeling like, how we go from laughing to make fun of this girl, so now you replacing me with her? I feel like that's a piece of it. But Simone is Gretchen AF, okay? She is giving, but you told me to stab Caesar. That's Simone at this moment, okay? Just unhinged, child. And y'all are just allowing this. Y'all just be letting Simone feel like she ain't doing nothing wrong. And I love Simone. I told y'all, that is my Spelman sister. Y'all don't understand how deep Spelman ride for Spelman and Morehouse. But Simone and how she be using the tears and the volume to manipulate situations, I just can't get down with it. It'll be different if she was right and she was doing this stuff to make people realize she's right. But she be dead ass wrong. A lot. All right, y'all. That's the end of that, though. We only getting 2 parts of the reunion. I said, what? Bravo know how to not give a 3-part reunion? When that happened? He want to make my reviews so bad, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up if you made it here. Put a man emoji in the comments for my husband trying to be in my reviews. All right, y'all. With the working cap in the video. With the working cap in the video. Bye.